Getlin. I'm going to be leading our masterclass today. It is awesome to have all of you here. I'm going to take just a few minutes, let people trickle in. We're not even quite at 12:30 yet. So, we'll probably start like 12:32, give everybody a second to get logged in. But, I saw some folks in the chat already engaging. Where are you guys from? I'm in Atlanta. I saw there's a few other Atlanta creators here. Let me know in the chat. I want to know, are you guys here in the US? Are you somewhere in another country? Shout out your cities. We've got LA. Okay, very cool. Dallas. Yeah, LA. All right. Florida, West Virginia. Well, now they're all flying in. Holy heck. The UK, Sacramento, Houston, Alaska, New Jersey, DC. Cool, man. Okay. All right. All right. All right. By the way, if you guys want to follow me, I'm at Alex Getlin on all socials. I will follow you back. I love connecting with creators. It is so fun. So much we're going to go over in this class today, but there's always so much more. Who has already done some JoinBrands jobs this year? Anybody? If you have done some JoinBrands jobs this year, how many have you done? I'll tell you, this hoodie I'm wearing right now, super comfortable. They actually sent me 2 from a JoinBrands job. I think I've done like 6 or 7 so far this year, starting 2026 off right. 14. That is impressive. Wow. Wow. I believe the session is being recorded. It'll be on the JoinBrands YouTube later at some point. And if you haven't landed any jobs yet, guys, don't worry. I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to get started. Even if you've never done UGC, even if you are like brand stinking new, that is okay. We're going to go over all of that today. But yeah, don't worry if it's none. One of the best things about this workshop, and by the way, you guys can go on the JoinBrands YouTube channel and see the previous master classes. I taught the last one as well. Great information there, great tips on how to get started. And yeah, 64, holy moly. You know what? I will tell you though, if you just take a couple days and you just power through, you can get a lot of jobs done. And it's an easy way, especially to collect 5-star reviews, to level up. Guys know there's like level 1, 2, 3. So yeah, very cool. And yeah, like I said, okay, so I see somebody's Chantel saying, not yet, you're new, not yet. That's all right, There's no timeline. 191 jobs, very cool. I'm assuming that's in your lifetime of JoinBrands, not this year alone. That would be, wow. If you did 191 in the first 2 weeks of January, that's amazing. All right. But we are going to get started. All right, guys. So like I said, my name is Alex Getlin. I am leading the masterclass today on editing for virality. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be diving in and giving you guys some of the tips, suggestions, strategies, how to take just basic content and edit it to make it captivating, make it exciting, make the stuff that brands want to see from you, that viewers want to see from the brands, that's going to convert to sales, that's going to get you hired again, make you more money, all of that stuff. Okay, so if we could dive in, get the slides going here, I believe. If you could see the presentation. Awesome. Okay, so editing for virality. As you guys can see, we're going to talk about cut down design, timing, training on the editing techniques that make videos feel dynamic, trendy, and binge-worthy. And what's great about this, guys, is it's not just going to be UGC skills that you're building, but for any content, for any and all content. If you are building a personal brand or anything else, this will help you so much. And you can see what we're going to go over today. We're going to welcome our winner and announce the winner from the last masterclass, do a live poll. And then I'm going to dive into a lot of great stuff, the fundamentals, essentially, of editing for virality, all that key stuff you want to know. We're going to do our creator spotlight with Kayla. If you guys watched the last masterclass, you might remember Kayla. She's a phenomenal creator, and she's got great insights and tips to share with you. We're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about the tools you need, sound effects, music, all kinds of ways to use sound, how to get more engagement on your videos, which is essential. Different options for editing programs, some of the stuff you can use on your phone, editing on the computer, different options in all the things that you need to make great content. Talk about CapCut and edits meaning, the Instagram editing tool, of course. How to do some scripting, script formats, core principles on everything we recapped. Went over today, rather, we'll go over it, talk about core principles and Q&A. Of course, we want to answer your questions. I will do my best, of course, to get to your questions in the chat. as I'm leading here. But of course, remember, if you have a question and I don't get to it during the live, we will have an official Q&A section at the end, and we'll make sure we get through all of that. So if we could move on to the next slide here. All right, let's announce our winner, Dana. Okay, Dana Marita, I believe is how you say it. I don't know if Dana's here. If you are here, Dana, please say hello in the chat. Very cool, guys. By the way, she was the winner of the Thankful For challenge. So we've got an exciting challenge at the end here. So make sure you stick around to the end because you can get featured on the next masterclass. You can also earn some money, which is very exciting. Everybody loves earning money, right? So congratulations to Dana as being our winner. If we could keep moving on here. All right, so let's talk about the most important thing when you're making content. What matters before you hit record? All the secrets you need as a creator. Now, the reason I say this is the most important thing is because doing all of this stuff before you hit record sets you up for success. And I've learned a lot of lessons the hard way. I made a lot of mistakes, as you will too when you're starting out. It's okay. But the more you can set yourself up to have everything ready, as good to go as possible, it's going to make filming easier. It's going to cut down your editing time. It's going to make it so much more efficient when you finally produce that video. So this is all the stuff to keep in mind when we start. Okay, now number one, setup is the priority, all right? Lighting comes first. I cannot emphasize this enough. Lighting, lighting, lighting. I have in my room right now, so I'm in my home office studio. I actually have 2 ring lights in front of me, and I have a side light here bouncing off the back. I have this stylized light in the back there. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can light yourself, as you guys will probably know from doing content. But one of the things that is just so essential, I'm going to even just right now, just to start, I want to show you guys something, okay? This is my like nice light setup. Like I said, I've got 2 ring lights here. I make sure that there isn't light coming strong behind me. I'm going to show you what the difference looks like. Just real quick, I'm going to cut off my ring lights and I'm going to open this window so you can see light behind me with no light on front, okay? This is how different, this is the drastic difference it is, okay? Look at that. It looks terrible, right? It looks so like exact same studio, exact same space, but I don't have light in the front. I've got this window here. It's so again, these small steps can enhance yourself or enhance your videos and your set tenfold. So let me fix that real quick and then we'll jump back in. Okay. Okay, so obviously we talked about lighting. Behind lighting is sound, and we'll talk more about sound in a second. But let's move on to the next slide here. We can talk a little bit more about the details. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to play with your lighting to give different moods, different impacts. Like I said, you know, you can experiment with backlighting. Like I'll grab this real quick. So I have this light that I put behind me, and it just, you know, adds some texture. You can see, right? I actually have a filter on it, so it can change it from like white light to tungsten light. We'll go over some different gear and stuff you can try getting on Amazon or, you know, even off Facebook Marketplace, which is great, by the way. Do not sleep on Facebook Marketplace. You would be shocked at how much phenomenal, basically perfect condition gear you can get on Marketplace to use. But again, take some time and play around with lighting, you know, before you even have a shoot scheduled for yourself. Just clear a couple hours and get familiar with like, oh, this looks good. This is how I like to light my kitchen. This is how I like to, you know, light my home office or wherever you're kind of main filming, your bedroom, right? Having that set up for yourself, make a checklist, take some pictures of where you put everything. Again, it's going to make everything so much faster because you guys probably know, if you've done UGC even a little bit, when you're in the space where you're like, okay, I'm filming right now. You've got so many things in your head about like, all right, I got to say my lines correctly. I want to make sure my room is clean, etc. You don't want to also be figuring out, well, how should I light the room. Now, of course, sometimes you're in a different place for whatever reason, and that's okay. But it will make it easier for yourself if you've taken separate time, figured all that out. So when you go to shoot, you're like, all right, I already know how to set it up. Another thing you can see here on the notes, by the way, as I mentioned, colored gels. There's a link they're going to send out later. Colored gels, it's literally like a see-through piece of like bendy plastic, basically, that you can put over even like a house lamp. They're like $10 for a pack of them on Amazon. They look really cool, and it could do really interesting effects with just different types of mood and all that kind of stuff. Because again, when you are lighting your space, you want to think about what is the product? What is the service? Who is the audience? Obviously, if you were doing, and I have some examples we're going to go through later, but if you're doing, let's say, an evening beverage for adults, whether it's like alcohol or something, even a non-alcohol alternative or something, that's a lot different kind of mood and lighting than, let's say, if you were doing, I don't know, skincare routine or life insurance. So kind of have a thought about what the service is, what the product is, and who you're talking to, and then focus on the lighting. And that really will enhance it. As you can see here, lighting should support the story and the vibe, not fight it. So if we could jump on to the next slide. Yeah. Audio. Okay, so again, right behind lighting is audio. They're basically tied. The only reason I would put lighting slightly above audio is, if you have to go and do fixes later, sometimes you can get away with like voiceover, whereas lighting, you got to totally redo the shot. But anyway, talking about lighting, in today's day, 2026, if you're a creator, there's no excuse not to have proper, clean audio in your videos. Now, you don't have to go out and invest in a mic right away, but I will tell you there are so many affordable, great options. One that I personally like, this is the DJI Mic Mini. I will hold it up to the camera here, and they'll send out links later. This is one of my personal favorites. I mean, look how small this thing is. What's really cool about it, it's winter right now, obviously, and if you're even in kind of a cold climate, you can just clip it onto like the, strings of a hoodie here. Really simple, just, way you can wear it on your clothes. Also, it has a magnet, so you can do that. There's the Hollyland mic, which is cheap as well. Bunch of options. Another trick, by the way, that you might not even realize, sometimes it actually helps to hold an item in your hand. I like holding this in my hand. I have a few different mic options. This is one of my go-tos. But holding a device in your hand can really help kind of train your brain to be in that talking head space and be very presentational on camera. So even if you don't have a mic yet, if you just want to grab when you're practicing, or even if it makes sense for certain videos, a spoon or something that just kind of puts it in your hand to kind of almost like, think of it like like in an orchestra, conductor has, I don't know what that thing is called, but the stick that they wave around, right? Like, it's kind of gives you a tool to kind of put you into that space. Another thing to consider, by the way, if you don't have great options for catching clean audio necessarily, two go-to spots, especially for good voiceover, are in your car and in a closet. You want to be in a space where there isn't like a lot of big echoes, okay? So if, you're filming somewhere and there's like really high ceilings, that can really detract from clean audio. So make it a point to really try and, capture that audio, especially for voiceover, in a space where it sounds decent. One other last note I'll give you on this, and then we'll jump to the next slide. Something that a lot of creators make the mistake of when they're just starting is you'll kind of do sometimes like, talking head, like talking to the camera like this, but then you'll do voiceover like with a mic or maybe holding it different. My point with sharing this, you can tell the difference when you listen back. I'm sure you've heard these videos where the audio is noticeably different from like the talking head to the voiceover. You want to try and match that as well as possible. It's just going to make your videos look more professional. It's going to make you as a creator look more professional. When you show those examples to brands for future work and they can see the audio is uniform throughout, it just levels you up. It's just going to make you look so much more legit. So again, that's a good note for yourself to really take the time to do it. All right. I have made all these mistakes before. I've been doing UGC full-time 3 years now. So again, even occasionally these days, I make some mistakes once in a while, but some stuff that you can really do to avoid those mistakes. Plan, okay? a lot of creators, they make the mistake. Sometimes they think like, scripting, you're just thinking about like the exact lines, your dialogue, and then your B-roll. But, you know, scripting also means figuring out, where am I going to put my camera? How do I want to do my lights? Again, you want to, as best you can, plan all that ahead of time, or at least have an idea, so that when you're filming, when you're actually on site doing your thing, it's less to worry about. If we can jump to the next slide. Okay, so smarter B-roll is higher retention, okay? This is a big one. And this is a thing I really encourage you guys to do, especially if you're a newer creator. Sometimes you'll get a job, and whether it's a job where the brand is like, make us a video, get creative, that happens a lot, or it's like very specific B-roll. I really encourage you guys, shoot that B-roll from at least 2, ideally 3 different angles. Not just so that you have a variety for the brand, but this is really for yourself. You were like, the best way I can explain how to get better at UGC, and just being transparent, like, I made 6 figures last year doing UGC. I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to say you can do this. Like, it is doable. I've never had a regular 9 to 5. I've had all kinds of jobs you can imagine. I'm that kind of person, but I'm saying you really can make 6 figures doing UGC. Part of how you get exceptional at it is by doing it more and more and more. Now, it's amazing and it's really good to watch masterclasses like this and tutorials on YouTube, but there's nothing that beats on-site, in-person training. Think of it like, imagine you were trying to get really good at basketball, for example, right? Yeah, it would be helpful to watch some videos from some of the best coaches and players talking about the game of basketball, but the best way to get better at it is to play basketball. It's like that. So my point is, like I said here, try different styles, different angles, creative POV shots. Another thing I'm going to show you guys, and again, I'll show this to you in a second. This is one of my like kind of handheld go-to setups that's really worked well for me. I want you to, if you want to do UGC full-time, if you want to be a legitimate creator, you're going to need to spend a little bit of money. And when I say a little bit of money, I mean like a few $100s over the course of whatever amount of time, buying a few things, not thousands of dollars investment. But for example, my go-to setup, one of them when I'm in public, so I have this setup right here, okay? So I'll show you. There's 4 pieces to this thing, okay? I have this very compact, easy, portable light here, which is great for lighting my face on vlog videos. This right here, I think it's called like a shoe adapter. Basically, if you look at this, there's like a slot at the top of this phone mount here, and you can put this, it basically allows you to like slide devices in. So this goes in, it allows me to screw in the light here. Let me just put it back for a second. Okay, and then I have on the bottom, I've got, oh, this came undone. Sorry. Get the idea. So on the bottom here, this is like, tripod legs. You can also hold it. The reason for that is when you do, even if you're like outside, it really does make a difference to have some extra light on your face. And you can, put your phone here. It lights you well. It's easy to hold. And I'm going to show you guys a couple examples of great ways to capture that. Now, of course, this is referencing Talking Head, but here's an example I love to give for shooting B-roll in multiple spaces. Now, like I mentioned here, small portable tripod, easy to place on shelves. One other one I will show you guys that I have here. I have like all the tripods. I've been doing this for a long time. This, I forget the name of it. It's like called like Tentacle or something, but you can wrap these around like a shopping cart, or wrap it around anything really. But it's got these like arms that you can grab onto stuff, and suction cups. So you can stick it on like a mirror or a hard surface, and then there's the phone mount here. Okay, but going back to this example here, you can go back one slide. Yeah. So this video, watch this video for a second. So you see the shot of me in the supplement aisle. So the first one is I have the camera behind the pill bottles in the supplement aisle, okay? And I forget what the product was, but it was, they just said, get B-roll of you shopping for supplements. That's all they told me. So I specifically was like, let me get a cool shot, like a cinematic shot of me, like the camera, I literally just put my phone in between some bottles on the shelf. So I'm looking at it, and the next one is, okay, now that's me shopping in the aisle. Now, I don't have like a full tripod in the store. I used a shopping cart and I like wrapped it around the shopping cart. So it looks subtle. Yeah, if somebody might notice I'm filming, which I've by the way, I've filmed in public like hundreds of times. I know it can feel a little strange occasionally, but no one's ever said anything to me. And just another angle. So I had to do kind of two different sides of me, filming. So a really easy way shopping in the store, like I said, you can use one of these tripods, you can use one of these, not that expensive on Amazon or whatever, Walmart or Facebook Marketplace. There's a million ways to get it. My point is, you don't have to have a whole big setup with big tripods and stuff to film in public. You can do it discreetly. And the more, don't just, when you guys start watching UGC videos and you see UGC videos in your social media feed or whatever, really pay close attention to the different kinds of angles and ways that people shoot, because it's just going to add such a dynamic edge to your videos. Okay, if we could jump to the next slide. All right, so when you're filming talking head or even, B-roll where it's like you at home or in your space and you're on camera, a ring light, if you've got a ring light, which I have multiple lights in my home office right now, I've got 2 ring lights. Like I said, if you only have the one, you want to make sure that it's right in front of you. Now I have 2, so it kind of hits me from both angles. But if you use a softbox is kind of like a level higher, a little bit more of a bigger investment, but you can do some pretty cool stuff with softbox lighting. You want to kind of have it at a 45-degree angle, and it's just going to give a little bit more of like a stylized cinematic effect. And of course, daylight is king. I mean, if you can get good daylight, that's the best. And like I said, you want to avoid strong light sources behind you. Like I showed you earlier at the top when I opened the curtain in my office and I didn't have these on, it looked awful, so amateur. This looks so professional, and it's the same space. So that's a note for you guys with that. If you're just using like one light and one phone. Audio versus visual, what matters more? Like we talked about, both are essential. Both are really essential. I will say, in my experience, in general, poor audio is easier to fix and less noticeable that you fixed it in your editing software. I mostly use CapCut. I use Premiere Pro occasionally too. And they all have great features and great AI tools to clean up the audio. You, of course, can clean up poor lighting, but in my experience, it's more noticeable. It does look less professional. And if you have to redo voiceover, that's obviously easier than redoing a full lighting setup. Now, another cool thing, you guys can see this option here. I have this right here. This is something I carry around. It has the little threaded hole at the bottom, so you can screw it into a tripod or something. But this is a light wand, and this is just one example that I have. But so you can use this in a number of ways. Even right here, holding it on my face, right? You can see how it looks on my face. But I really love this one because it has so many different color options. And yeah, like you can just see I'm running through the different colors here. It's really cool. And again, like I said, play around with, how different colors make your videos look. And it really does add different effects. This is not an expensive investment. I mean, I think it was like $50 maybe, which again, if you're going to do UGC full time, you want to spend a little money. What I mean by that is like on gear, on having the stuff you need. Because I don't know about you guys, but for me, my most valuable thing is my time and my energy. I really don't have anything that I value other than like my family, of course, my health. But like my time and energy is the most important thing to me. If I can get back time and energy, I will spend that money. To answer your question, Kayla, I typically film in 4K. I do 24 FPS unless the brand asks for 30. Sometimes I do 30, but that's just what I prefer for my filming settings. Now, I film some of my stuff on my iPhone. I also have what some of you guys might know, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I'm actually streaming into that right now. I have it into my computer. They should pay me commission of how much I love this thing. I just actually got another device. This is for like, once you get to kind of like high level UGC and you want to invest in your Pocket 3. So I got this device where it's a mount. I can put the Pocket 3 here, hold it here, and then it has a grip for the phone. So I can look at it, like film myself right here and then read lines off my phone. So if I'm doing like talking, like what's really big right now, what I really encourage you guys to try and do are walk and talk videos. Straight up, you are walking and talking to the camera. The energy of like, I'm on a FaceTime call with my best friend and I got to tell you how great this product is, or wow, I'm so glad I signed up for this service, whatever it is, and it made my life better. You know, this solved the pain point. When you can have and you can also get like a second phone. Again, marketplace. People sell used gear all the time. Somebody has an old phone they don't need anymore. You could probably get it, you know, cheap. And so, from my experience, one of the best things with walk and talk is you have your script like on your phone right here, and you can have it, and then the lens to the camera is right here, and so you can literally walk and talk and kind of glance up and down. I'll tell you, the time it has saved me is exceptional. So I would highly recommend that. The biggest piece of advice, I have a lot of pieces of advice I would say are the biggest, but one of the biggest I would say, within reason, just spend the money. If you're like, should I get this tripod? Should I get? No, if you're not going to make rent or something, don't do it, obviously. But I cannot tell you, like, the mental load you are relieving yourself of to not have to do extra steps with your setup, with your filming, and the post with editing, to spend $50 here, $200 there. It is so, so worth it. And it's literally a business investment. So I'm not a tax professional. I'm not giving you exact advice, but other people who are professionals will tell you there's ways to write this stuff off and it's totally legal. I have a guy that does it for me. But okay, let's jump into the next slide. So go to checklist before hitting record. Is your phone or camera fully charged? Very important. This one too, do you have enough storage? There is nothing worse than being somewhere, especially if you like had to go off site to like a location and you're all set up and you hit the thing, oh, you were out of storage. You got to sit there and delete stuff and figure out what you need to delete. Huge time saver. Make sure your mic is turned on. I made that mistake. I've definitely made that mistake. Make sure your mic is on and connected, because I'll tell you what, this thing right here, it connects to your phone, but you have to make sure that it's actually capturing the audio. You know what the best way to do that? Just do a quick 3-5 second sample, listen to it back. That's all you got to do. Oh, good. It sounded great. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to like record something and then you go into editing and you're like, cool. Yeah. Mic wasn't even on, so again, make sure your filming area is clean and organized. This behind me, I don't put anything here other than, what's supposed to be on the shelves. Now I have a space where I film, but let's say, for example, I am in my kitchen or I'm filming my bedroom. There's places in my house that brands want to see me film in for whatever reason. It is very distracting if you have, unless it's like intentional for the video for some reason, you don't want mess. You don't want clutter. You want to have a clean space. For a couple reasons. One, it just looks better. I mean, you just look more professional. But two, it's going to distract the viewer from what the message of the video is. So that's a really big one. You don't want your TV in the background. If you have a ceiling fan, turn that off, especially if it's in shot. And the last one, triple check. Are you filming? Did the brand ask for 9:16 or 16:9, the vertical portrait mode or horizontal landscape mode? Because I'll tell you what, there's been a number of times that I have gone out and filmed. Yeah, Kayla knows what's up. Yeah. I had one, guys, I will tell you. Okay, so this is a quick anecdote for JoinBrands. A lot of cool stuff at JoinBrands. I have 2 kids. I've gotten my kids awesome stuff. And I did one. There's a company called like Refresh Sports. They do it. They're on JoinBrands all the time. They've hired me like 10 times. So they had this like giant, like super jumbo beach ball. So they were like, yeah, you got to be at a pool. My parents have a pool in their like old folks community. So we like went up there for the day, brought the thing, where this is going, whole day of filming. I filmed it vertical. The brand wanted it horizontal. So I had a fun day with my kids. That was good. But yeah, I had to go back and reshoot the whole thing because that footage wouldn't work. So make sure you do that. All right. This is how a good setup saves you editing time. Again, if you know your right light placement, the best window positions, where to sit, all that stuff, just have it done. So when you go and when you sit, you're like, all right, I'm good to go. I know what to do. You want to see too that like here, this is simple but intentional, right? Like these are fake plants, by the way, but they look the same in every shot. I've got one, kind of nondescript piece of art. It looks good. It looks stylized. It elevates the video. There's not too much going on. It doesn't distract. but it's not a blank space. You don't want a blank nothing space. That looks bad on camera, and it's, clean and eye-catching. All right, if we could jump to the next slide. Okay, so here are a few of my favorite examples. We'll jump into these in just a second. And they're all different things that I specifically used editing features to enhance the video. So this first one, we're going to watch it once. I'm going to talk about it, and then we'll watch it again. Oh, I don't think we can hear it. Someone on the JoinBrands team, if you guys could figure out, I'm not hearing any audio from that video on my end. Can you guys hear this? The people listening? Yeah, there's no sound. So I don't know if I'll see if someone on the team, yeah, there's no sound. So okay, we'll let JoinBrands kind of take care of that. But I'll talk about it in a second while they get that squared away. So with this first video, which it was a mobile power bank, which was a JoinBrands job I did, by the way. A few things that I did here that heightened it. One, I made sure to use specific transitions to heighten the emotion of the video. So the scene I did, it's for this, and again, this is one of those ones where the brand was like, get creative. We like your stuff. Have fun. So I was thinking, okay, it's a mobile power bank, right, to charge your phone or whatever device. And figured, well, of course, like the time you really need it is if you have to do something super important on your phone and your phone dies. So I start the video and I'm just very over the top, like, let me send this super important email before my phone dies. And then the phone dies and I do this like very heightened, like, oh my God, no. When I did that, I did like a very like animated zoom in, zoom out feature, like one of the CapCut things to really heighten the humor of that moment. So I like to make funny videos. I like to add, and when I say funny, I don't mean like, Netflix comedy special funny. I mean like subtle jokes throughout the video. But I think that does really well. I know for a fact it does really well. And yeah, let's see if they were able to get it to. All right, let me just send this super important email. Oh, my phone died. No.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? Well, you don't want to be like that guy. And what you do want to do is grab this. The Summit from Power Mobile. This might be the best power bank out on the market right now. This 4-in-1 power bank is shockproof and dustproof. It's got a built-in lightning cord and USB-C cord, so it's compatible with Apple and Android devices. And it's got 2 ports, one for USB-A and one for USB-C. And what I love about this thing is it's sleek and stylish, and it's super portable. I actually just leave mine in my glove box, so I'm always covered no matter where I am. But if I wanted to, I could easily carry it around in my pocket. It's the size of the palm of my hand, not big at all. And it's durable. This thing is resistant to water and fire. And it comes with an optional lanyard that has a thermometer, compass, bottle opener, and carabiner. So you're covered for pretty much whatever you might need. So put the power in your pocket with the Summit from Power Mobile. Grab yours today.
Okay, so again, you guys could see the beginning of the video, there was no music. It was just my, me talking. And then I did the very heightened, oh, my phone died. And I did that like cartoonish zoom in to kind of heighten the humor of that. Then I have the subtle background music start when it goes into the talking head. Yeah, so thank you, Lisa. I have so if I do for these kind of videos, if the brand doesn't require it, I do like a half script. What I mean by that is I have like bullet points of the key features to mention, and I have it like in front of me on my laptop, and then I'll kind of glance at it, and then I'll just probably, this is a tip for you guys. Say it like 3 or 4 times when you're starting out, and then you can kind of go back and watch it and see what feels natural. But I just try to channel what I call FTE, FaceTime energy. Like I would just tell my friend, like, dude, this power bank is great, and this is why I love it. The other thing you'll notice is I did a mix of talking head and showing the device. So we'll watch it one more time in a second, but I didn't just do talking head on me. I wanted to actually show the power bank intercut. One, it makes it more interesting, but also 2, I'm talking about specific features and zooming in on them. The last thing I'll mention is that I actually had a light above. It's not even in front of me, but I have one of these lights where I can like mount it over. I think we have an example coming up in a bit. Mount it over my table, so it just looks really, really good on camera. So we'll watch this one last time, and you can kind of keep those notes. All right, let me just send this super important email. Oh, my phone died. No.
Yeah, we've all been there, right? Well, you don't want to be like that guy. And what you do want to do is grab this, the Summit from Power Mobile. This might be the best power bank out on the market right now. This 4-in-1 power bank is shockproof and dustproof. It's got a built-in lightning cord and USB-C cord, so it's compatible with Apple and Android devices. And it's got 2 ports, one for USB-A and one for USB-C. And what I love about this thing is it's sleek and stylish, and it's super portable. I actually just leave mine in my glove box, so I'm always covered no matter where I am. But if I wanted to, I could easily carry it around in my pocket. It's the size of the palm of my hand, not big at all. And it's durable. This thing is resistant to water and fire, and it comes with an optional lanyard that has a thermometer, compass, bottle opener, and carabiner. So you're covered for pretty much whatever you might need. So put the power in your pocket with the Summit from Power Mobile. Grab yours today.
One other last note, you'll notice the captions are always below my face. You do not want to have unless for some reason it's part of like a point you're making, but like 99% of the time, you never want captions over your face. You want them below your chin. Okay. Let's do the next video and then I'll give you guys some notes.
I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I'm almost 40 and I just found out I've been brushing my teeth the wrong way my entire life because I just got this Oralucent Pro Edition red and blue light therapy toothbrush, and oh my God, this thing is incredible. Just a few of the reasons why this is the most incredible toothbrush you'll ever own. The blue light targets harmful bacteria and gently whitens your teeth. And the red light soothes and strengthens gums by stimulating circulation and cellular renewal. This is like brushing your teeth with the future. And it's super fun to use. It's like having a rave party in your mouth every time you use it. Believe it or not, light therapy has actually been used in dentist offices for over 20 years. And the combination of the blue and red light therapy helps you fight stains, keep your gums healthy, and get rid of nasty bacteria. Order yours at Oralucent.com.
Okay, so that toothbrush. So a couple, first of all, like really cool features about the toothbrush. You know, it lights up. It's got this like fun like UV light. So again, a couple things. One, I throughout the video intercut the talking head with me using it, partly because, you know, it's a toothbrush. You want to see it in action. But then also, thank you, Brandy. I was very proud of that video. It's like boring to have just the talking head. You know, sometimes there are some occasions where just talking head makes sense, but for this, it makes more sense to kind of show it in between. Now, you'll notice in the middle, I did kind of like that surprise, like, you know, super sped up nightclub thing. Because one, I just thought it was like fun, but also two, that kind of thing in the middle is going to make somebody watch the video twice. If they're like, get that far, like, whoa, like it's more likely they're like, wait, what was that? Which again just heightens the view of the like retention of the video. Now, because a couple things I want to explain to you guys. So first of all, yes, it made you laugh, right? Thank you. Yeah, that's the point. You know, humor doesn't have to be, you know, like Kevin Hart, Netflix. You know, you can just be like a little thing you think of when you're just kind of goofing around with your videos. It's honestly subtle is usually better. I mean, the next one we're gonna do is very over the top, but you'll see in a minute. But yeah, exactly. I thought about this and I was like, okay, cool. It's you know, a toothbrush that lights up. Let me go into my bathroom, shut off all the lights, be in total darkness, and then use it so it's like very heightened. And then in CapCut, I sped it up super fast, and they have like in CapCut, there's like royalty-free music that you can put in. So I just typed in something like dance party or EDM or something and put that in. And the brand was very happy. They loved that video. So the other note is, yeah, so that's my bathroom that you can see. You know, that's my main bathroom. When I filmed the one where I'm brushing my teeth, that was in my hall bath with no windows. You can see in this one, there's a window above my head. So I made sure that I had my ring light in front of me so that I was well lit. And I'm holding the mic in my hand, as you can see, because my bathroom is pretty echoey. The sound there isn't great. But with the mic, it sounds good. The last thing, too, you'll notice is, and we'll watch it again one more time, is I really tried to do kind of like back and forth between like talking head B-roll, talking head B-roll. It just keeps it kind of like moving. You don't want to do like just talking head, just B-roll end. You kind of want to have a healthy mix. So if we could watch this one more time.
All right, I'm a little embarrassed to admit this, but I'm almost 40 and I just found out I've been brushing my teeth the wrong way my entire life because I just got this Oralucent Pro Edition red and blue light therapy toothbrush, and oh my God, This thing is incredible. Just a few of the reasons why this is the most incredible toothbrush you'll ever own. The blue light targets harmful bacteria and gently whitens your teeth. And the red light soothes and strengthens gums by stimulating circulation and cellular renewal. This is like brushing your teeth with the future. And it's super fun to use. It's like having a rave party in your mouth every time you use it. Believe it or not, light therapy has actually been used in dentist offices for over 20 years. And the combination of the blue and red light therapy helps you fight stains, keep your gums healthy, and get rid of nasty bacteria. Order yours at oralucent.com.
So to answer your question, Lorraine, they did not give me an exact script. From what I remember, they gave me like talking, like some like focus on these points. No, they didn't mind seeing a mic in my hand. In fact, I have had a couple, like 1 or 2 times a brand was like, we don't like seeing the mic. It's so common now, that's almost like never a concern. And I think it actually just adds to like, oh, this person is a professional because they use a mic. They take that extra step, you know, to have the microphone. Here's a tip for you guys. I'm going to give you 2 tips. And, you know, Kayla, when she joins us in a little bit, I'm going to hear her take on this. But if a brand, this happens sometimes where they're like, yeah, you know, have fun, make the video. Ask them, what do they want you to focus on? Just say, hey, love it, got some great ideas. What are the key talking points? Anything specific you really want to make sure that we hit on this video? Because sometimes they won't tell you, and then they'll come back and be like, oh, I really wish we could have mentioned this. Just get that information ahead of time. Also, if you guys have trouble with writer's block, if it's not natural for you to come up with scripts, use AI tools. Let me tell you something. I'm a professional comedian. Like that's what I've been doing my whole career. Yeah, even addition to YouTube, I do that now still. But so I'm used to like writing jokes and writing scripts and whatnot. I still use all the time Claude and ChatGPT to help me write my scripts. Obviously, you need to go in and make them in your own voice. But what I do a lot of times, like, you know, you get the brief from the brand, or even if they're just like, make us a fun video, I take the product, the link rather, to the product, throw it. I like Claude better personally, but I use ChatGPT as well a lot too. And I say, hey, I'm a UGC creator. You're going to act as my writing partner. Help me come up with a, you know, whatever the tone is. For me, it's typically like grounded with a little bit of humor, a little bit of authoritative, you know, approach to give me a relatable script. And then, you know, I take that and I kind of clean it up and make it better. But don't be shy about using these tools. I mean, they're all free. There's pro versions too, but use it to your advantage. But the key is use it as an assistant, not a replacement. You need to make it your voice, make it humanized, but let that thing do the heavy work to get you set up for success. All right, so we're going to watch one more video on this page here.
Okay, if you are looking to have the best scrub of your life, you have got to grab this extra rough exfoliating washcloth from Rebel Scrub Club. You've never had a scrub like this.
So whether you're washing away dirt, grime, the painful memories of your ex that dumped you, these extra rough washcloths are going to do the trick. They're extra long, extra rough, 100% nylon. It comes in a 2-pack. I mean, jokes aside, these actually are pretty high quality washcloths, just FYI. So if you like it extra long and extra rough, do yourself a favor and grab a box today.
Okay, so a couple key editing things I want to mention on this one. Now, this is another JoinBrands job. Rebel Scrub Club, this brand specifically, and this is important, like you really want to know, like, what is the cadence of the brand or the product? Like what energy, what emotions are they want you as the creator to convey? So their whole thing is like, you know, it's for male hygiene, but like, oh, it's for like dudes, like being cool, but also being clean. Like it was very, you know, you saw it, we'll watch it again in a second, but it comes in this ridiculous box where it's like a warning sign. And the name is called Rebel Scrub Club, right? Like dudes being dude stuff, being clean. So then I'm like, okay, so for sure, I'm going to do a very heightened like attitude with that energy. So I put the music behind it. I had kind of like, you know, that was for sure from CapCut. And it was, you know, I put in like heavy metal, like it's kind of like a hard, like guitar, like dude, right? So I did a ton of cuts in that video to keep it moving the whole time. All right. So in the beginning, I'm like talking to the camera, like, I don't even remember what character I was channeling, but channeling like just, all right, dudes, you want to be a dude guy that does dude stuff? You got to get, you know, just ridiculous, right? So that's like the beginning. And then because it's a washcloth, I intentionally transitioned to being in the shower. I didn't start it there because I wanted the transition to be like its own kind of like, additional hook in the video. So I specifically was like, I'm going to have it where you see me dramatically pull the curtain open. So it's got an audio hook. You can hear, we'll watch it again in a minute. You'll hear the like clink of like the little metal hooks, the rings, or whatever, on the shower curtain. You see it move. And it just, again, is like another like visual thing. Like, oh, we changed locations.
Okay, if you were looking,
you can pause it real quick. Yeah. And then two other things, or a couple other things I'll mention. You'll see more B-roll cut throughout. The B-roll matches specifically what I'm saying. You really want to try and make sure you don't just throw B-roll in there haphazardly. Like I mentioned, it's super. I think like one of the lines are like it's super long and super rough. So I show like the length of the thing. It's 100% nylon. I zoomed in on the tag. It says 100% nylon, and I was like kind of doing. You'll see again when we watch it. I'm like doing like the tough guy character, and then I break character and act like normal Alex. And when I do that, the background music cuts out. One, to like hold your attention, and it's kind of funny to just have it like this drastic shift, right? Where I'm like, you'll see me say, and I'm like, jokes aside, these are actually great washcloths. Like to kind of tell the viewer subtly, I know I'm doing this ridiculous over the top character, but like jokes aside, I really enjoy this product. And then I go back into character to kind of finish out the video. So again, it's a way to like hold the attention of the viewer with the ridiculous like tough guy clean dude thing, but then be like, I'm not just being ridiculous. I really actually, as a man who cleans himself, I would use this product. Okay, so we'll watch it again one more time with kind of all those notes in mind.
to have the best scrub of your life, you have got to grab this extra rough exfoliating washcloth from Rebel Scrub Club. You've never had a scrub like this.
So whether you're washing away dirt, grime, the painful memories of your ex that dumped you, these extra rough washcloths are going to do the trick. They're extra long, extra rough, 100% nylon. It comes in a 2-pack. I mean, jokes aside, these actually are pretty high quality washcloths, just FYI. So if you like it extra long and extra rough, do yourself a favor and grab a box today.
All right, cool. So let's dive into the next slide here. Okay. So another thing too, most of my videos are talking head. That's just what I am pretty good at, and a lot of brands like it. But I understand sometimes you don't want to do talking head. I encourage everyone to work towards getting good at talking head. It's as a creator, it's one of the best tools like you can have in your personal arsenal is get good at talking head. But doesn't mean you can't make UGC while you're building up that skill set. There's a lot of great content you can make without using your face at all, sometimes without even using your voice. And this is, I don't have a lot of these videos, but this is one video I made. I'm also the kind of creator where like anything I don't have, I just want to make that video in my portfolio. I'm like, I remember this was another, by the way, another JoinBrands job that I did, this wireless table lamp you'll see. And I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I don't have any videos that are totally voiceless or faceless. Let me just make one just for the sake of having it. So I used the AI voice in CapCut to do this. And I'll go through it more in a second. We'll watch the video. Yeah.
Home decor hack. Grab this wireless table lamp and instantly upgrade any space in your house. It has 3 light modes and easily charges with USB-C. And it looks great anywhere I put it. On my desk, on my bookshelf, with my plants, in my bathroom, in my kids' bathroom, with these South Park dolls, in front of this cool art piece, in my laundry room, with this Beatles poster, on my nightstand, in between these other lamps, with these super comfy reclining movie theater chairs. Seriously, I effing love these chairs, they are so comfy. In my bathtub, on my mantle above my fireplace, next to some dishes and these decorative cookbooks that my wife bought for some reason. You get the idea. But my point is you can put this lamp anywhere, and it looks great. So grab one today.
Okay, so a few notes. Now, this is one of those ones. I remember this vividly. This as we're doing it. So the brand gave me no notes. They were like, make a video. I'm like, okay. Yeah, thank you, Lorraine, for the nice comments. Yeah, so I try to add humor in all of my videos, as you guys can see. And again, it's not like, over the top like Netflix special comedy. It's just like subtle jokes throughout the thing. So a couple reasons why that video, the brand loved it, by the way, why that video worked. First of all, constant cuts, constant moving, right? We'll watch it again in a second. You'll see like every shot, it's just like 1.5 seconds. Yeah, you could make a video where it just stays in place, but that's so much more engaging to see it jump from place to place. When the voice is saying 3 light modes, I'm rotating through the 3 light modes. I'm not just telling you it has 3 different light modes. I'm showing you in that moment. It says, oh, you charge USB-C. You can see it right there. There's a USB-C port. Now, the way, and again, you can use ChatGPT or whatever tool, Claude, Gemini, whatever you use for creative ideation. Have it help you come up with funny ideas. So to me, like I hit 3 like humor points in that video. One is some of the places I'm putting the lamp are ridiculous. Like I put it in the bathtub, I put it on top of my washing machine, like that, silly. You would never put a wireless lamp in the tub, right? So it's just kind of like subtle, funny stuff. And then when I have these like really nice like recliner movie chairs in my house, and I put like a subtle line about how my wife, or no, that comes later. I just mention that I'm like these, like I break from just. Let me catch my thoughts for a second. I'm going through like, you can put it here, you can put it here, like in my bathroom, in my thing. And then I say with the movie chairs. And then I say, by the way, these chairs are so comfy. I think I said like, they're comfy AF. Like, oh, again, I'm breaking from the like place. And then just doing like a line of commentary because it changes up the, the tone. And then it's like, oh, that was funny. And then the one where I mentioned the decorative cookbooks, like that was like a joke in my house. My wife has these, she does use recipes, but typically it's from like, on the internet, but she loves these decorative cookbooks in the kitchen. They're fine, whatever. They're cute. But I just felt like it was funny to be like, yeah, for some reason she bought these cookbooks. They don't get used. Again, and I know I've said this tone a bunch, but I do a lot of like one-on-one coaching with creators. And the thing that I hear a lot is people are like, oh, I'm not like a funny person. I don't know how to I can't crack jokes. And it's like, yes, I am a professional comedian. Like I understand that, but like, I want to encourage you guys, like lean into the humor as much as you can with UGC, because it just makes your videos so much better. And you can use these AI tools, like whatever, the ones I mentioned, there's new ones every day. And I threw my social handles in the chat. I'll do it again real quick. You guys can follow me. I'd love to chat with you more later about it, but I really encourage you to also like take time and play around with like use the AI tools to help you like come up with ideas of just how to add subtle humor into your videos, because it really heightens them. So we'll watch that lamp video one more time.
Home decor hack. Grab this wireless table lamp and instantly upgrade any space in your house.
Alex,
It has
can you
3
hear me?
light modes and
The thumbs
easily
up, can you
charges
hear
with
me?
USB-C, and it looks great anywhere I put it.
Alex, can you hear me?
On my desk,
Yeah.
on my bookshelf, with my plants,
go a
in
bit
my
faster
bathroom,
because it's
in my
picking
kids'
up.
bathroom, with these South Park dolls, in front of this cool art piece, in my laundry room, with this Beatles poster, on my nightstand, in between these other lamps, with these super comfy reclining movie theater chairs. Seriously, I effing love these chairs. They are so comfy. In my bathtub, on my mantle above my fireplace, next to some dishes and these decorative cookbooks that my wife bought for some reason. You get the idea. But my point is you can put this lamp anywhere, and it looks great. So grab one today.
Okay, cool. So we're going to keep moving on here, but you guys get the idea.
I used to work all day until I had no choice but to fire myself. Look, I'm not lazy. I just stopped cosplaying as an entire operations department. I hired AI employees with Motion. Now I've got bots booking my meetings, replying to emails, running point on my task list, all without a single per my last message. Yesterday I went on a hike. Motion handled a reschedule, sent 2 follow-ups, and built a project timeline while I was looking at trees. It's not just time saving, it's life giving. You want to be on every Zoom? Be my guest. I'll be out here living while my AI keeps the lights on. Hire your first one and then touch grass. Outsource the grind, hire an AI employee from Motion. Click below to try a week free.
So we got to keep moving soon, but I just want to point out with this last video here, this is one I did for YouTube, but you'll just see, when we did that video, a lot of B-roll variety, a lot of like solid transitions, background music, professional lighting, professional backdrop, all that good stuff. But yeah, let's keep going. Okay, so editing short form for maximum watch time. I'm going to throw it over to Kayla now, our wonderful guest on our live today, and she is going to share all her insights with you.
Yes, absolutely, guys. And I have this really cool device that transcribes and summarizes for note takers, because if anyone has ADHD like me, I wanted to get all the goods from Alex, but I knew I couldn't write notes and pay attention. So I'll have those if anyone wants them. You could just message me over on socials and I can send you that wonderful summary this thing generates for me. Also got it from UGC. So I love how that works. But we are digging into some really fun tips. So Alex shared incredible wisdom, and I'm going to be sharing some other little nuances that we don't think about, because truly what you're going to hear me say a lot, especially with a lot of this content, is especially when you're starting out, less is more. Alex has been doing this 3 years. I have been doing this for a year and a half. And just to give you perspective, guys, of how lucky you are to have access to, not to brag on us, we're both six-figure UGC earners, and JoinBrands is bringing you all this goodness, and it's here for free. Like, it's pretty freaking awesome. So make sure you're paying attention, taking notes, because we're giving you goodness that a lot of people pay a lot of money for. So just to always reel it in, because I always remind people, 10% will take notes, take action, and 90% will just put the notebook away and never look back at it. So commit to being that 10%, and that's why you're here. But the focus when editing is you have to keep people watching. You heard Alex talk all about some different things with your voice, his natural humor, his transitions. But these are some of the little teeny things that a lot of people don't think about. But once you nail them, one of the big questions in the chat is, how do I get more jobs? How do I get more brands to choose me? These little things truly make a world of difference. You've heard of the millennial pause, and we make fun of it. But so many people, when I go through, sometimes I'll take some clients' videos and edit it for them. Let's say it's a 60-second video. When I take out their, not just millennial pause at the beginning, but their pauses for breath, we can trim almost like a quarter of the video down. And you're realizing those breaths, those pauses in natural conversation, even when I'm talking to you, it kind of makes sense. But in a video where it's an ad and they need to keep people to the point of the CTA telling them where to go and buy, that breath can be the moment truly that someone leaves the video. And yes, the performance of your video is also very important for brands continuing to reach out and hire you. Remember the power of getting rehired. And so the way that I go and do this, I'll tell you exactly what I do to take out most of my pauses. In CapCut, when you upload a clip, you don't click on the clip. You're just going to scroll over and you're going to see a transcript button. That transcript button will go through and mark filler words and pauses. It's not foolproof, so you're going to go through and check it afterwards, but it honestly is the first step that I always take in editing that makes the editing process so much faster, but takes out a bulk of those pauses. But even then, I'm going through, and anytime, again, you'll notice, you take a breath and it's like a microsecond, but that tiny little trim that you do in each of those transitions with clips or changing sentences or thoughts can honestly make or break the performance of a video. But it's such a tiny thing that is so easy to do. As Alex talked about, face to camera whenever possible. When we give you guys these tips too, I know that sometimes we might forget or tend to overthink. When a brand asks you to do something, like if they want, let's say, only face to camera selfie mode, okay, we won't add in any bells and whistles. If a brand says no face, only do it B-roll, okay. But a lot of the time, what you probably have found from your experience is that sometimes a lot of the creative liberty is left up to you. And that's when you're going to want to add in some of the pizzazz. But these things, you're going to want to do this all the time, the pauses. Trimming, even, again, those tiny things make a world of difference. The biggest thing you want to make sure that you don't accidentally chop too close is going to be the final word in your call to action. That's the only thing. You can leave like a millisecond at the end of that, but every other thing in between, trim it, keep it clean, will honestly elevate your portfolio instantly. When you want to look at how can I get people to really truly pay attention to a video, so many people have been talking about, if I use a teleprompter, I don't look good, I don't look natural. But honestly, the more you use a teleprompter and get used to it, we use it less as a crutch and more as a tool. And when we use it as a tool, it allows us to stay focused so that way we can get through the thought process rather than trying to memorize. Memorizing is one of the worst things that most people can do. Again, you think, oh, memorizing. Yeah, television actors do it, but yeah, we do some acting, but we're not doing it at the level that movies and television, and they also film 14-hour days. I've been on sets for a long time, and you want to crank out this video in less than an hour. So a teleprompter, when used correctly, when used with practice, is your best friend. I talked to some people in the chat. The best one, honestly, is the Captions app. The way that it films, the placement, just everything about it is awesome, but there are other options. That one's my favorite, and Captions has a free version. We can go ahead and go into the next slide. So we talked a little bit about getting people to the video, increasing watch time from the hook. I put it in that slide, but something that you want to think about is you want to have 3 things happening in your hook. You're going to have some form of movement, you're going to have some sort of verbal cue, and then, unless a brand specifies not to, you're going to utilize text that tells people why they should pay attention. Some people have referred to this as like a hook trifecta. Some brands utilize this too in briefs when they're asking for specific things inside of your brief and your hook. So I love, as I kind of talked about, the transcript feature. That has been such a game changer for me because as someone with ADHD, it's so easy for me to get distracted. And if I can make and shrink that process, it is such an absolute game changer. So using that transcript feature is going to be probably one of, even if you just take that away from today, it's going to make your videos that much better. The tighter, more engaging the edit is, it not only increases the watch time, because obviously if it's shorter, less that they have to watch, but it also increases the likelihood of a rewatch. And for brands, when they're posting something on social media, organic or paid, they want people to keep watching until they obviously take the desired action. And that's the goal. The more time they spend with it, the more likely that is to happen. And that's good news for you when it comes to getting rehired. Next slide, please. So with speeding up clips, I've had some people say that I talk really, really slow. And so what they'll do is they'll go into their clips and sometimes like speed up their voice. And that is something I want to say, be very cautious about doing that. Doing that in some TikTok shop videos, okay. However, if you want to shrink the video, it's taking out the pauses, not necessarily speeding up your clips. And when I know I was talking to some of you guys in the chat as well, when Alex was talking about all the different angles and things that he gets is so helpful. What people will hear me say a lot is always overshoot and then just trim out the things you don't need. Whether you're doing a face to camera script read, or you're just kind of riffing face to camera, you're getting a ton of different clips just to see what you have. I love to compare it to like when you get a haircut. You can always take off a little bit, but if you do too much, what's going to happen in UGC? You have to go and reshoot. Then you have to go and find that outfit again. Nightmare. Am I right? Sound off in the chat if when you have to go and find an outfit to reshoot something, it is the absolute worst. And you have to try to get the lighting situation correct. And if you're outside, right, forget about it. So always overshoot and then trim back. What you're going to notice is that I have, and we all have, certain filler words and things that we love to throw in videos. And those are some of the easiest things to trim when you overshoot. For me, I love to insert the word honestly. I say it in conversation, which is fine, but I trim it out of the videos because I say it too much. So start to take notice of some of your own filler words, and you'll notice that that is one of the best things to trim. So haircut analogy, always overshoot, trim down to try and get things as tight as possible. But you also want to still have the flow of the story. So more than adding in video overlays or even the little transition effects between clips, when you watch your video, is it taking people from point A to point B? If you aren't sure, this can be a sign, okay, let me start to shoot some more, and then I can just take out the things that aren't relevant to the story. That's one of my favorite analogies. And the more you do it, the more comfortable it gets. Literally, that's another one a lot of us use, like, literally. So start to notice those, and then it'll make it even easier for you to trim them out when you're in editing. Next slide, please. Something, and I always wanted to think about some things to highlight that, of course, Alex didn't already talk about so that we weren't redundant, but sometimes you will notice there's certain things that you just love and kind of get used to using more. Something I've noticed that's performing really, really well that brands have been loving is doing green screen overlays on top of B-roll that you would normally just have going over the video. Alex talked a lot about how to keep a video engaging with constantly changing scenes, because if you're on something for too long, what happens? People leave. So something that I do, especially when I want to maybe have more B-roll demonstrating, especially for things like tech and ads, is I won't just do green screen recording B-roll overlays. I'll add in elements of me talking to the camera, green screen it over, because maybe I'll point or I'll reference something. Maybe there's a little pop-up, and it just keeps people watching. Creating a green screen is super easy. in editing on CapCut. But before I taught myself how to do that, I will say I just recorded those clips on Instagram stories with the green screen, saved them to my phone, and then edited it in CapCut. And that worked out fine for a very long time. And now I'm just trying to do things a little bit differently. But if you're more comfortable in Instagram stories or TikTok doing green screen, you can totally do that. Another reason why I kind of got out of that habit is what's the downside? You don't have the teleprompter if it's a script. So CapCut edits, I know we're gonna talk a little bit about editing, so I won't dig into that too much right now in terms of tutorial stuff, but trust me, there's so much out there to teach you all that good stuff. But start incorporating some more green screen. But what you're going to hear me say a ton is that you're overthinking when it comes to your edits and your sounds. So we're going to give you a list of all the good ones to try to incorporate, but I always kind of advise people, start with like 1 or 2, because what happens if we put too much in, then it takes away from the message we're conveying, the story that we're telling. So when you're utilizing them, how I like to simplify it is focus on the central point. What is like the climax of the story? What is the point you want them to take away? Are we focusing more on alleviating the problem or the exclusivity of the solution? Maybe we'll focus more of those effects on the problem versus the solution, or the other way around. What we really want to be honest about is, are we using these to try to cover up that we're lacking confidence in our camera presence? Are we using this to try to hide that we don't think our video is as cool as someone else we're comparing ourselves to? So we want to make sure we get out of that comparisonitis headspace and look at, okay, am I trying to distract or am I trying to elevate? And we just get to be brutally honest with ourselves because we're professionals in the space and that's what we get to do. So planning ahead is also going to be a key to create really strong videos that makes brands continue to choose you. And you'll notice I say that versus virality because why are we here? We want to book more jobs. Sound off in the chat if that's you. You're like, yes, I want to book more jobs, make more money. Yay. So planning ahead, being intentional, as someone with ADHD, any little hack that works for how my brain works is huge. So for me, biggest thing, planning ahead that matters. I shoot when I'm shooting content and I edit when I'm editing content. It's at different times of day. Reason being, I'm going to create way better filming and way better editing when I'm not constantly switching hats. So that's something that you want to think about. With face to camera, how can you get more confident? Because I'm sure if you look back at your old videos compared to now, you are much better now because you're doing it more often. If I look back at my old videos, I'm like news anchor Sally talking like, I'm appearing, making breaking news, and it's super polished and it's like I'm doing my customer service voice. But the more you can truly get into talking with the little nuances and the little tones and the quirks in your voice, like you're talking to your best friend, gushing about that date you went on last night, blah, 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 the more natural to you it's going to be, the less scripted it's going to look, and the more that the brand is going to love it. And people love, right? We love eavesdropping on private conversations, right? And that's kind of what a FaceTime call is. So the more natural your voice is, it sounds less salesy and it brings people in more. And you'll notice vocal inflection happens naturally when we're talking, when we're comfortable versus when we're performing because we want to be customer service people. Welcome to Chili's, Anyway, so one of the ways too, how can I make it easier for those seamless transitions? Someone asked, oh my goodness, how does that sound so good? You have the clips and all this. Doing a voiceover, how many of you, post off in the chat, struggle when it comes to adding in voiceovers and mixing it with like talking head? One of my tips to make it a little bit more seamless, this is one of my little high level hacks, is take that voiceover in CapCut or whatever editing app you're using, drag it a little bit into the previous clip before so there's the tiniest overlay. Sounds scary, but trust me, it flows, makes things so much better. When people ask how to do those smooth zoom in and zoom out CapCut keyframes is a dream, because how many of you have like your kid or your mom trying to like zoom in on you doing this and it's just a nightmare. Sometimes we do quick cuts where we go to a new clip and we just zoom it in. That's cool too, but if you want something smooth, CapCut keyframes. I always recommend also multiple takes, choose the best one. Sometimes you might incorporate a little bit more emotion in one, or you just say a word a little bit better. So if there's a section of a video, do three takes, trust me, because you don't want to go back, find the shirt, do it again later. Captions app, something else too, when it comes to the Captions app, my favorite teleprompter, there is a little button you can click that if your eye contact ever kind of goes weird or Nightmare. You're filming in horizontal, right? How do I do a teleprompter? I can't look at the camera. Even the most skilled people, we can't always do that. That eye contact correction tool is a dream, especially for my ladies and gentlemen that have brown eyes. It works really, really good for us. So brown eyes, darker eyes, chef's kiss. Something else, subtle hacks that are going to get you hired more. Make sure that you check the spelling, especially of the brand name in your captions. And I'm calling myself out for this because remember, ADHD, we're just kind of grooving. We're not thinking about it. And then we submit it to the brand and we go, oops, do new version, upload it quickly. We're human, it happens. I'm not going to highlight this too much for the sake of time. We got a lot of Q&A and Alex talked a lot about this and gave incredible information that will be in those notes I'll give you. Big thing for the ladies. How do I make my skin look really good? That overhead lighting. Turn that one, that big light in your bedroom or whatever bathroom, turn it off, use other light sources. It's going to help with texture and wanting your jawline to look snatched. Done. We can hit the next one. Perfect. Someone else talked about things. My house is an aesthetic. What do I film? Blah, blah, blah. Panicking. Guys, for real. Yes, having the right background can make a huge difference, but all you truly need is like a little corner. Like this is a nice neutral background. I use this a lot. My desk is here. It's a nightmare behind it, but it's just a white wall. So pick little corners that I call them my UGC corners. I have one that has a Christmas tree I need to take down. I've got another one on another side of the room. And it's nice if you have one where you can kind of move things around. So yes, clean aesthetic is huge, but don't overthink it. Just honestly, if you have a small space, have a spot where you can move things from one place to another. So we're going to jump into this. I know Alex is coming back and we both have insight on some tools and other fun things. So this is a great opportunity for Alex to come back and we can kind of ping pong.
Thank you for, we can jump into it. So yeah, we kind of covered a lot of this, so we won't spend too much time, kind of keep it moving. But like we mentioned, microphone, the Hollyland mic is a great one. Like I showed you guys earlier, the DJI. The biggest thing I would say is just, get familiar with using it, make sure it's on, make sure it's connected, do all
and
those
test
things.
it before you do the whole video. A couple times mine was not connected. And that was very not nice.
A lot of them also have noise cancellation too, which is wonderful. That's a huge, huge factor is the noise cancellation. I have this exact, by the way, this is called a telescoping tripod. I have it right in front of me here.
Is that the one that you tap on the ground?
No, it doesn't tap on the ground. I don't think it taps on the ground.
Let me show off mine. This is the new one. This one's from Craft Geek, y'all. How much does it suck when you got to pry a tripod open? This one, let me not hit myself in the face, but you tap it on the ground.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's
and
even more fun than
you can
mine.
get it MagSafe or with a clip. I have both versions.
Nice. But the biggest thing, I mean, this isn't that big, like in relation to the size of my phone, like it's pretty portable. So that's the biggest thing with tripods. There's the water bottle phone holders, which are great. I also have a magnet holder for both my phone and my DJI Pocket 3. So anywhere that's metal surface, gym, or there you go. Those are so helpful. So we can keep it moving.
You can get these Osmo accessories. You can get them from other companies that are literally the same and they fit. So do some shopping. You'll love it.
Yeah, great. Again, we talked about the lighting, natural light, so many lights. I mean, like I showed you guys, I've got this little portable kind of like vlogging selfie light here. I've got this stick light that I showed you. Canvas lamps, that's what we talked about. That's when, if you're filming something over a table, you really want to make sure that it's well lit. I don't know if you have anything specific light-wise that you want to mention, Kayla, but, guys, like I said, I said it before, I'll say it again. Check Marketplace because there's such great stuff that you can get on there dirt cheap. And this is a big one too, the Bluetooth shutter. Now,
a lot of tripods have them.
Yeah,
it's amazing. I forget that this thing exists. If you don't have a person to press record for you, dream.
Yeah, it's great. I know the Pocket 3 mic, the like more advanced one, you can record start stop with the Bluetooth thing, but that's it just makes filming B-roll, filming talking head, all that stuff so much easier. Like I said, for me, any step you can remove to make your workflow faster and easier, you guys should do it. All right, as you can see here, you will get these links. They will be sent to you, so you do not need to worry about having all of this saved. So sound effects, this is a big one. So the thing with sound effects is it just heightens the video. It just makes it better. Grabs attention instantly. enhances the storytelling, adds rhythm and pacing. It adds, that creative emotional impact, which is so important. And it just makes your content more professional. I mean, again, what I always tell everybody, the absolute best content creators are moms, not women with kids. I mean, they are too, but moms are masters of micro storytelling. Okay. That's what you want to be. We all should be moms with our content.
What's
You
up,
put these
moms?
yeah, masters of micro storytelling. And that's what you do with these sound effects is it just heightens everything. And again, it's like conveying different emotions and impacts with that. And I
Yeah.
don't know. I want to, yeah, you go,
I was
Kayla.
gonna say, I thought there was a thing where you had some of the sound effects. And do you know, Alex, are these the names of them on like CapCut?
Yeah, these are the sound effects right here. They're going to play them. I believe, yeah, if you type those in, you can find them on CapCut. So we can go through these. So yeah, riser effect. Yeah, so again, it just heightens everything. With you could see here all the different ways to use it. How you would use it. It's just those subtle details that really is just going to elevate your content.
Yeah, and then names of some of my favorites. And again, I have a little transcription. This will be in the notes. But I love the typing. Sometimes, depending on,
Mm-hmm.
especially with certain styles, if I'm in front of a computer or something, the little type effect when the hook text comes up to correspond with that
Yeah,
is really good.
that's a
Typing,
good one.
mouse click. One that I also love is swish. And these are the names of them. There's also the cute, what's it called? The cute swish where it's like
I don't know.
little bells. It's very
Okay.
girly pop. So that's another one that I love.
Yeah. We got the whooshes here. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hit play. Again, you don't want to overdo it, but put them in strategically and it can really heighten your videos. All right. So we'll do these three. That's a good one. The key on this is to know when to use these sound effects and not to overdo it. That's the big one, is you want to use them very strategically.
Alex, if you could give like a quick tip of like how do you know if something calls for a sound, what would you say?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think what it is like transitions is an obvious one, and then any kind of like key emotion that you're trying to convey or like thing that you want somebody to focus on. So for example, like, okay, here's a perfect one. Cha-ching, right? You know, y- right. So you want to use it like it's also like great where it's like, hey, this could save you a ton of money. Cha-ching, or it's like, I just fixed my credit with, this. The applause kind of obvious, like but you could even use the applause in like a funny way. Let's be like, if I'm just kind of riffing off the top of my head, but let's say I was doing one about like a toothpaste for my kids, and it's like, Dad win of the week. I just got my kids to finally get excited about toothbrush time. And then you can put that in, like it's just ways to do that. Do the correct one. Let's hear that. What? Yeah. The one that, no, below. Is correct. Oh, right. Yeah. So that's like a
Oh
good
yeah.
one where it's, yeah. Again, it's like, this is a good thing. Notification. Yeah, and then right, yeah, like and then be like, "Oh, I was at 8 years old when I found out you can't manifest yourself out of debt without a plan." Or, you know what I mean? Like you just again, it just heightens all those points that you're trying to make. Yeah, there's so many. I mean, there's so many of these. I know we don't have a ton of time, so as you guys can see, you will get an email with all of them. So I encourage you to take some time, play around with them,
You can mark your
incorporate them.
favorites in
Yeah.
CapCut. You can save your favorites. So once you find it, you can save it. Easy to refer back to.
So as you guys can see, as we talked about, more cuts, more engagement. We all know when scroll, your people are flipping, they're zipping through. You want to hold their attention, and the best way to do that is with quick moving, highly edited videos, which is the whole point of today's workshop, and just keep that in mind. So these are different examples. I don't know if we're going to run through these in full because we have depending on time, but I know this one does a lot of. This is a really well done video. This one here.
Man, my boy. like I got 3 strikes.
Call me, hey, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me, call me.
And what's nice about, you notice a lot of these shots too, is they look very natural. Like it doesn't feel super, I mean, obviously the middle one's a little bit more produced, but like
Sure.
the makeup application, the shot at the gym, it's just like, you're just watching someone live life.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they're all well lit, which is a big thing. Yeah. Okay, so camera angles is another one, of course. You know, if you want to be slightly above eye level, it you know, sends the message of trust and confidence. So yeah, you do not want to film from below. The only time you would do that is if it's a very intentional, certain kind of shot, like, you know, if you're like putting on your shoes as part of a B-roll and you're getting that angle. But there's almost no, just in general, filming from below is like just not a good look in general. Definitely want to leave headroom for for captions. You know, focus on keeping the safe space, and film wider than you think you need, because again, it's going to make editing and cropping so much easier after the fact.
Yes, and I know someone said, like, how do I make sure that I'm in the shot when you're using your back camera? There are little things that you can get. I have one. I honestly don't use it that often because I am grateful that I often have people to shoot with, but especially if you don't, you can get it MagSafe to the back of your phone, plugs in, can show you. Donna also shared in the comments, she uses her Apple Watch to look at the camera to get a preview, which is a cool little
That's
hack.
good.
Too.
That's great. Yeah, yeah. So you guys can see here too, you know, if you want to frame up for mid chest up for reviews, waist up for storytelling. So here's just some other examples for you guys.
If you are anything like me, you take your New Year prep very seriously. And I don't mean to alarm you, but there are like 65 days left of 2024. My slogan for next year is 2025, our year to thrive. So welcome to episode 1 of the New Year prep series, Future You Edition. Over the next
So again, all these features is just heightening the video, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. Jump cuts, yeah.
They're time consuming, but worth it for the right video.
Absolutely.
so obsessed with me. Keep it on the low. It's clear that you're upset with me. Please don't let it show.
And some of those effects, like that face tracking one, like it is in CapCut. Some of these might be on the pro only version. Some of them are a little bit more next level. So if you're looking at that and like freaking out, I haven't used most of those types of things in depth, guys, and I make good money, and I've been doing this 1.5 years. So don't panic. There's time.
Yeah, these are options, not requirements, you know, like start one step at a time. But yeah, these are great editing programs on the computer: Premiere, Resolve, and Final Cut. I mostly, honestly, now I use CapCut on my computer and my phone, but you know, these are great options. Edits too, you know, the head of Instagram did confirm, by the way, if you use the edits feature, it will increase your reach, just so you know. But I think CapCut's solid. Also, free stock footage on Pixabay, Pexel, all these different options here.
Like with edits, you'd have to download it from edits and then maybe not re-upload it if there's nothing additional. But I'm like, I wonder if that affects it. I'm just kind of riffing, but
probably, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you can find viral songs.
Yeah, find what you're comfortable with.
Spotify. Yeah. So what do I? Let's see here. Yeah. By the way, there's a poll here, right, guys? You can see what do you primarily use for editing. So if you guys want to answer right now, I know that we did a poll and CapCut was kind of the winner overall. That's my personal, you know. But you can also download anything from YouTube with 4K downloader. You can download anything from any of these. But if you just Google or use ChatGPT, how do I get footage off of Instagram, TikTok, etc., you can do it. But you can do all this with CapCut. You know, it's got the auto captions feature, text templates, keyframes, all the stuff you need, speed ramp, sound effects.
Yeah, look up like if you're like kind of a more advanced person, look up a speed ramp tutorial, because I did the other day. Haven't used it, but it's cool. But with some of these, just commit to learning to use this one feature. Like that's what I'm going to do today is I'm going to learn how to use keyframes and then just play with it. Maybe go back to a video you've already done and tweak it rather than just go in immediately and try using a new feature on a brand video. You don't want to stress yourself out, but just learn one at a time. And once you feel good about it, move on to the next one.
Yeah, what I just said a minute ago. Yes, the CEO of Instagram confirmed that using edits helps with reach. But to your point, Kayla, you have to, from my understanding, you have to post it from edits directly into Instagram. So it's a certain kind of video that you want to do.
And people are asking, there's a second for some of the questions here. Let me not lose my spot. I know someone said, I'm paraphrasing, they're like, so I'm watching these videos, but like, how do you film those? I mean, we're using our phones, guys, like, and then both of us sometimes use like the DJI, but for me, like 98 of my normal percent of UGC is on my phone. This is the new iPhone. I also mostly use my front camera. I don't always have requests for things that call for the back. And the key, honestly, that makes things look so fancy is the lighting and the audio.
Yeah,
so that's why we
really
talk a lot about it.
Yeah. So different script formats for you guys. Talking head, talking form, and then talking form with B-roll, which talking form is, you know, what we're doing here, talking into the camera. A lot of those examples you saw, right? And then talking form plus the B-roll, creator on screen talking with the B-roll put together. Like I mentioned, but really, guys, you want to focus on being a strong on-camera presence for talking form, talking head. That's really going to do well for you.
Yeah, and the key too, someone asked earlier, Alex, when you were showing some of your examples, that like, how did like your toothbrush video, how did you get such a smooth transition to the B-roll? And I don't know if people noticed, and correct me if you didn't do this, but I'm pretty sure that you had an A-roll that you kind of did the script, and then you added the B-roll of the brushing over it, and that's why it felt, because he didn't cut to doing a voiceover for that section, guys. He just put the overlay just in the section, trimmed it to where he wanted it, and that's why it's so smooth, because it's the same voice file.
Yeah, I didn't even think to explain that. Thank you, Kayla. Yeah, and it's so much less work for you to do that. So I filmed the entire script in one spot into the camera, and then put the B-roll over it. So there you
guys,
go.
And if you didn't think of that, like, please don't feel bad, because I'm not going to lie to you. For how long before I started UGC that I'm Googling like how to get voice from one video to keep playing over the next one, and I couldn't figure it out. And then when I did, I was a little embarrassed, but don't be, because we all got to start somewhere, and I'm not a techie person. So you'll notice Alex is definitely more kind of, we'll say techie for the sake of brevity than me, but we can both win. So no matter your skill level with some of this stuff, if it feels overwhelming, don't tackle it yet.
So again, voiceover with visual proof is key, guys. You really want to make sure that your structure supports all this. You need to have structured pacing. Your voiceover scripts make sense, and it needs to end with a strong CTA, call to action. All right. I always say when you make your videos, you want to do three things. All right. You want to hook them, cook them, and book them. Hook them is the hook. Cook them is the body. Right. It's how you keep it going. And book them is just like, it rhymes, but it's like get the sale, call to action. You know. Yep. Get them to buy, purchase, click, sign up, whatever the thing is. So yeah, again, you know, talk about like you need to have the pain point, and then like what is the product or service fixing? How is it solving that pain point? The result, and then you know the recommendations and CPA. The reason that UGC works is because people trust regular people. You know, the reason that we have jobs doing this is because we're not influencers, and there is some value to influencers in today's space, obviously, but really it's just being authentic and being like I said, masters of micro storytelling, how you can be authentic and relatable in 30 to 60 seconds, truncated down in an engaging format.
I mean, honestly, Chris, to answer your question, I tell people you want to go deep before you go wide, and there's so much opportunity on JoinBrands, and a lot of the people that I talk to and they tell me kind of what their habits are on it, they're barely dipping their toe in. So honestly, I would really focus on mastering this, and this is the platform that I started with in UGC. It's literally the one that I recommend to people just starting, because it literally guides you through the process, and it's like on the job learning. It makes it so simple.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're both clearly like here on like with JoinBrands, so like, you know, but it is, in my opinion, the best place to like dive headfirst in, because also you guys will see there's so many different types of jobs. Like you can do just pictures if you need to start that way, right? There's also express jobs, which are like kind of the good like start. I even do express jobs now, and I'm a veteran. If there's like a cool product I want, I'm still like, express job.
And there's ways you can keep working with the brand. So it starts with an express job, and then the next thing you know, they invite you to something custom.
Exactly. But again, on this note here, on what's on the screen is you want to make sure that your story arc has a flow, that it makes sense, that there's a narrative. You don't just want to kind of like randomly talk. You want to make sure that you're hitting, the setup, the conflict, turning point, the resolution, again, micro storytelling to explain why someone wants to spend their money on this thing, why it's going to make their life better, safer, more exciting, more interesting, whatever it is. Call to action to, end it.
Yes, and people asking, I'm new. How do I get approved for more jobs? If you guys haven't been over to the JoinBrands YouTube, there's a new video. It's like a getting started. I did make the video, so of course
there
I'm a
you
little
go.
partial to it. But I'm literally sharing my best practice. In my first 2 weeks on JoinBrands when I started, I made $1,000. So I walked you through exactly
There you go.
the process that I followed for the most part to do that. And it's going to be insanely helpful. And I'd say if you're within your first 6 months of JoinBrands, I would go and watch it because you're probably going to learn something helpful.
There you go. And then this is just another great way to tell the story is a comparison or before and after, like you see here in the bottom, skincare, fitness results. Another thing is like if it's a product for your house, like, hey, I got this, new, I don't know, lamp, the lamp thing, right? Like this is my space before. This is how much better it looks after. Just kind of that very simple with and without, and showing that quick comparison. You go to the next slide. All right. So you will receive some unique and creative lifestyle first formats. All right. As a creator, it's really important to be able to do a lot of different, engaging, exciting, unique types of storytelling. Go to the next slide here. So what consistently increases retention is immediate context in the first few seconds. People want to know what are we watching? Why am I here? Tight transitions, we talked about moving the story forward. A lot of visual tone changes every few seconds. Again, you want to keep it moving, want to keep it exciting. Editing choices that really heighten the point. You don't want to have it all. It needs to have a through line. It needs to make sense and be congruent. A lot of variety, but it still has to mesh together. If it's just haphazard all over the place, it's not going to convert. And the core principle, the job of editing is not to impress. It's to remove friction between the viewer and the message, all right? You're not making a Christopher Nolan film, all right? You're making fun content that informs people, oh, yeah, I would like to get this protein shake and try it at my next workout. You know what I mean? And it's just really to heighten that message and make it captivating but straightforward. So here's the new challenge.
Oh,
yeah. So our challenge winner for the last time. Our new challenge, edit for virality. So we want to see you guys apply the techniques from the webinar today. If you want to submit one short form video that demonstrates strong cuts and pacing, intentional transitions, thoughtful sound design, a clear hook and timing. And if you win the challenge, okay, so you're going to make one short form video, TikTok, Reel Shorts, one of those. Apply at least one tip covered. I would say you can do more than one, but at least one. Submit it within the time frame and use the hashtags JoinBrands, JB Masterclass. You will get featured at the top of our next Masterclass, like you saw in the beginning with Dana, and you could win $100. You guys can see the links there if you want to submit. Who doesn't want extra $100? You could use that $100 to get yourself that new light, that mic, whatever it is that you need to level up your content. So, as promised, we got a little bit of time for Q&A here. So if you guys have questions that we did not get to yet, please throw them in the chat. Kayla and I will answer. Available for Canadians. I'll let the JoinBrands team answer that. I would assume so, but I don't know. Yes, it is available for Canadians. Okay, all right, well, so many. All right, I'm going to try and do these as I can get through. Let's see here. So we'll kind of ping pong it, Kayla. Let me go to this one here. Thoughts on AI influencers versus the UGC community. I am not worried about AI influencers. I mean, maybe at some point, one day they'll take over, but you can tell they're all bad. They're just all bad. Now, what I would encourage you to do is use AI tools in your workflow and mesh them with you as an authentic creator. But I don't think anytime soon we're going to be fully replaced. But I will say even more reason to work on your talking head, talking form videos, because that's something that is kind of easy to spot when it's AI. I'll let you take
Oh
one.
yeah,
Kayla.
I'm not worried. People can tell there's certain elements you just can't replicate, and honestly, it is what some of us would deem our flaws, our quirks, the little things that make something not perfect. People can pick up on it. I'm not worried.
Yeah, and giving authentic perspective too. You know, if there's something like I'm trying to give a good example. I mean, even this hoodie here, this was like my most recent JoinBrands job. I specifically wore it for the workshop
Oh,
today.
I love
But
that.
it's super comfortable, and I'll show you. It has like this like the drop cut style. Like that's I just really like that. Like it looks cool. You know, listen, I like to say like I'm like business on top, party down below. I got like a pretty strong chest and arms, a little bit of a dad gut, if you will, and it's a nice loose fitting midsection, which is great. I just authentically talked about that, which is like if you have a build like mine, it's perfect. Let's see here. If you're doing voiceover on only B rolls, do you record the voiceover on voice or voice notes? I'm not 100% sure what you mean, but I will say so. If it's just voiceover, I typically, I'll just like use voice notes in my phone, but I actually use this mic right here. This is my podcast mic, but you can plug it right into USB-C. But I would, if you don't have a mic, that's more than fine. But that's what I mentioned before. If you're doing the voiceover like that, go into like your closet or your car. Also, you can throw a blanket over yourself. Good voiceover helps with like soft surfaces to bounce off of. What steps would you recommend to take to get better at talking head videos? Make more of them. Just make a bunch. Practice with your friends. If you have a friend that does UGC with you, practice doing them together. Practice talking to your friend. Also, talk out loud before you start recording. Just start talking about something, even if it should be about the product ideally, but just start talking about it and as if you're kind of already riffing, and then hit that record button. It will absolutely help. And also, depending on where you live, if you can, meet other creators. That can really help if you can find like a person or two to collab with. On that note, if you guys follow me on Instagram, I actually have a content studio here in Atlanta, and we're doing a free meetup at the end of the month. I'm posting all the info. You can, if you're in Atlanta or you're visiting Atlanta, please come out. It's free. Anyone can join. Just follow me, and I'll send you the details. Is it okay to send you a DM on your IG? So, yeah, of course. Please DM me. I would love to.
Yes, I love Instagram. I'm always in the DMs.
Yeah, Kayla and I love to help creators. Let's see. What else do we have here? Other questions. Going back to the 3 parts of the hook. What do you mean by verbal cue? Do you
the hook trifecta. So you want some sort of movement. So whether you're kind of waving, coming into frame, applying a lip gloss, so like some sort of movement, and then verbal, like you're saying something like immediately, hence kind of cutting out that millennial pause. And then with text, I always say like ask the brand, but I also always send over 2 versions because I said this in the chat too earlier. Oftentimes they'll buy both. You want to increase your earnings on JoinBrands, you can upload additional things. And that is kind of a little hack a lot of people don't think about.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I think you mentioned this on the last masterclass, Kayla, but as you mentioned, the brands can buy additional content from you. So like you said, throw an extra version of the hook in there. Give them a version with a different CTA. Like this is what I always say, if it's not that much extra work, you should just do it. It's going to make you a better creator, and the brand might purchase it from you. And even if they're like on a certain budget and they don't buy that specifically, they still might be like, hey, that was pretty cool. We'd like to rehire you. Let's see. Bob, I have old eyes, Alex. What is your last name for me to search you on IG? I'll put it back here in the chat again. It's Getlin, Gettlin. I'm on all socials with that. It's my full name. Feel free to follow me. We send a message to the brand with our video ideas. Yeah, definitely. You can for sure. Oh, I don't know if you can message the brand before you get picked.
Yeah,
I know
not before you get picked, but yeah, that's what you use the chat feature for. So always use the chat to clarify anything unclear in the brief. If you have an idea to share, maybe you have an idea for something you think will work better, throw it their way, see what happens.
Yeah, I will say a lot of these brands, I mean, sometimes it really is like one guy with like a side hustle who just needs content. And I just say that to say like, in my experience, they love it when I pitch ideas. Even if they're like, oh, we really want to stick with this script, they think it's cool. Like I specialize in like comedy videos and like podcast style. So I'll just tell them that, like, hey, by the way, if you want to do this for this video or the next video, FYI, and they're like, oh, cool, thank you so much. A brand is never gonna be upset at you just showing them you're a professional. Just being like, hey, if you want to do it this style, I'm here for it. But you know, just a fun fact, I do this a lot, and here's some stuff that I've done really well for other clients. Okay, if you have new improved videos or photos, can you change what is on your portfolio? I'm constantly making. Oh, yeah, you can absolutely do that, and you can. I don't remember someone from the JoinBrands team. Maybe you know, Kayla. Will have to remind me if you
Yeah.
have like featured videos you can put on your profile. But I know that like the
I don't know about
videos you do.
feature. I mean, you have your pitch video, and then each
Yeah.
category, I think you're allowed like 4 videos, and you can update those as often as you want. I'm always reminding my clients to kind of go through and do like a little monthly refresh. But here's a little tip, guys. Don't always take out your old stuff, because brands also love to see your evolution.
Mm.
So don't take out all of it. Leave some.
Yeah.
Obviously, the stuff you like the most, but like definitely show your evolution in your portfolio. That's a little hack.
The other thing, so I want to answer Crystal's question because I get this question a lot. You know, sometimes people are like, "Hey, I feel like I'm not getting picked. I feel like I'm not standing out. Like, what should I be doing?" It is very healthy to take a pause and reset sometimes. What I mean by that is, and I'm guilty of this too. You can get tunnel vision. Give yourself whatever makes sense. A day, a week, whatever. Pause completely on UGC. Try something creative in your life, a new hobby, or go on whatever, and just start letting your like creative juices flow outside of UGC, and then get back to it with that kind of new energy. I think of it like the gym. Like if you go and you were to lift weights every day, you would destroy your body. You have to kind of give yourself healthy resets. The other thing too is the thing that is difficult for you, make yourself do it at least a little bit. You know, if you don't like doing talking head, set some time aside and really work on it. Okay, so
And I was going to say
mine's
too,
oh, yeah.
for really quick, for portfolio, if you want to get picked more for brands, something I see a lot when people send me their JoinBrands portfolio and I look at it, in the little section, you can put like a little like blurb. I don't know how many characters, but they'll basically write kind of almost like it's like a dating profile. Like, I'm a mom and I love coffee and dogs, and like, okay, that's cool, but why does that tell the brand why they should invest in you? So in that blurb, you're going to want to put why they should choose you. So think about that. Like, is it because you have a certain background or experience, or you have a certain look? Maybe you live like on a farm and you can do more of the outdoors. Again, I could give examples all day, but you want to make sure it showcases why they should pick you, and use ChatGPT to help you make it concise.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we are just about out of time, but I'm so happy that you joined Kayla and myself here. Like I said, hop over to the JoinBrands YouTube channel. The previous masterclass is on there with lots of great info. I know Kayla's got that new video up that's going to give you a lot of great tips. And like we mentioned, we're both accessible, so you can hit me up. I'm most active on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not great about checking TikTok DMs, but I will do my best. But I want you guys to win in 2026. You can make a lot of money doing UGC. You know, I had somebody recently being like, I feel like they were not familiar with UGC. They're looking at it from the outside, like, I feel like UGC is an MLM. And you know what? I was like, it is an MLM. It's a way to make lots of money. That's the real kind of MLM you want to be a part of. All
I'm
right?
dead.
So thank you guys for the kind words. Sign up for the challenge. Make sure you guys are getting on JoinBrands, doing those jobs. Any last words, Kayla, before we sign off?
Yeah, no last words. We look forward to seeing you on socials, continuing to watch you succeed. And yeah, make sure you head over to the JoinBrands YouTube to watch the other masterclass. That video I talked about, it's really going to help you out.
All right, guys. Best of luck. Have a great rest of your week. We will see you next time.
See you guys.